Welcome to another gorgeous day on planet Earth and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, inspiring, unique individuals come to talk about love and life and how it has brought them to where they are. Today, I am your host, Danny Rocco, and with me back is Joshua. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing so good. I had to take a little break from doing my show as I traveled across the country and got set up, but I'm so happy that you are number one back on the list. So before we get started about who you are, what you do, and what you got going on, why, all that jazz, tell the world a little bit about who Joshua is.
All right. I come from a small family, if you want to call it. A smaller brother, or a younger brother, not smaller, younger sister. Modesto, California. I reside in Murfreesboro, Tennessee now. Little back history. When I was younger, I always used to get in trouble and stuff like that. My attention span wasn't all that great, and life wasn't looking real good. I decided to put my efforts into working and stuff like that at a young age. I decided if I wanted something, I got to go out there and get it. Another thing is watching my mom struggle with three of us teenagers, at the same time. All of us were in high school. So you can imagine how that feels. One wanting prom, one wanting cheerleader, football, and mom being on a fixed income, disabled, welfare, stuff like that. We couldn't have the nicest things, but we were always taken care of. So me being the man of the house, since my parents were divorced at that time, I decided to go out and find some work. So the thing I found that was easy is mowing grass. I got myself a lawnmower, went out there and mowed grasses and stuff like that, and helped mom out, with my brother and sister, little things I can. So everybody wants a new wardrobe for the new school year. Unfortunately, I got all my stuff hand-me-downs from my taller friends. So it was new to me. So I decided I wanted to get my brother and sister some new clothes for their school year so they don't have to be wearing the same stuff from last year. Kids are pretty ruthless about that kind of stuff, about being center of attention and stuff like that. I really didn't care. My stuff had holes in it, whatever. I don't care. As long as I had clothes on my back and food in my belly, I was all right. So I'm a cancer survivor, currently serving 19 years and counting in the military. I went to Iraq in 04 or 03 to 04, came back in 04, was about to get out of the military and discovered I had cancer. I had testicular cancer, and the doctor said, because I asked him if I'd be able to have kids, he said there's a strong possibility you won't. So being 22, that's a tough pill to swallow. Of course, at the time I was single, and I was just kind of ready to settle down. I don't know, but ended up having a 4-year-old daughter with my wife now. She's almost 5, so it's a miracle. I could go into details how me and the wife, she had endometriosis. So if you know about that, that's tough to live with. She just had a partial hysterectomy. So
you've had just this path of almost, it's not the easiest path. You've had to fight. You want something, you have to really work for it or earn it. You know what I mean? Or fight for it. It's you have this I feel like you have this sense, this protective side, right? You're a protector, you're a giver, you're a server. So I want to go like, how did you make that choice to join the military instead of staying kind of as that male household, male figure in your family? Because many people can get stuck in there and not go after their dreams and their purpose because they feel obligated. But you, I mean, obviously you served our country, which I'm sure in return you were able to provide more and be more to your family. But what was it like? What made you pick the military?
Well, I had 3 options, and 2 of the options were bad.
Yeah.
Being a teenager, you go through some things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As I was getting ready to graduate, it was like I grew up pretty much in a trailer park because I shifted sides because I was kind of rebellious, you know, at the end of my years in high school, and wanted to go live with my dad. So I had a resentment towards my mom. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, you know, the back and forth. If you know divorced parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you get it from both sides. So I decided to go live with my dad for a little while, and it wasn't looking too good. I was working at a car wash, and it was either like they wanted me to be the manager of the car wash, or, you know what I mean, I didn't hang around. Well, the circumstances, it's not the best of scenery in a trailer park, you know. You got gangs, people doing drugs. So those 2 paths didn't align with what I wanted to do. And with my family history of illness at young ages, I always wanted to do better than they did. It's not like I was trying to outdo them. I just didn't want to be stuck in the same situation.
Yeah, you learn from history, right? You see the path and you're like, I don't think this is the way I want to go. I better change this up a little bit.
And I was a junior in high school, and it just aligned. We were in there, and I was in a college prep history class. I don't know how I got in there, but apparently they put me in there. And
apparently you earned it. They don't just throw you in it.
So what happened was we were inside class, and that's when 9/11 hit. So our teacher, Mr. Skinner, he was a cool dude. He was like hip guy. He always had the decades up on the wall and different pictures. Man, he was phenomenal. So what happened was he pushed one of those TVs in on the rollers. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They probably don't even have that in school anymore, but I remember.
No, they got like projection screens or whatever. Yeah. So he wheeled that in, and we were looking firsthand what happened to the Pentagon, what happened to Twin Towers. And at that moment, I was like, I've got to go do something. I've got to serve my country. Of course, being a junior in high school, I still had 1 more year. So I ended up getting on the delayed entry program, going to take my ASVAB and stuff like that. And it just fueled my passion. I asked the recruiter, I said, hey, are there any gyms there? I was kind of in the dark about the whole military thing, you know? And I was a timid person, you know, going into the military. And I'll tell you this, it made a man out of you. You overcome some stuff that you never thought possible. I'm definitely afraid of heights unless I'm jumping off a cliff, diving in the water, or jumping in the water or something like that. Yeah. But if I'm up there for a long period of time, it just you know, but I had to overcome it with Jacob's ladder and all the different stuff we had to go through the military. And that passion, they break you down to build you up in their image. You know what I mean? Take all that stuff that you learned before and throw it in the garbage, because they're going to build you up the way they want to. And it's just, I don't know, it just aligned with my sense. And instead of driving towards something negative, that drove me positively in the right line.
Yeah.
So that's what fueled my passion. 9/11, I just cried. I was like, I've got to do something. You know what I mean? And still to this day, I bleed red, white, and blue. Like
I can totally see that. Like you saw a problem, like a need for your siblings, like you wanted them to have something, right? Like the new clothes so that they would fit in a little bit more or things like that. And you did something about it. You know, the 9/11 happened, totally bigger and broader, but it's the same concept of you as a person, as a heart. So you join, you go to war, you come back, and
cancer.
Yeah.
And they looked at me. They were like, "Hey, you look healthy as an ox." I said, "Yeah." And what's funny was when they took my blood pressure right before surgery, they're like, "Why isn't your blood pressure elevated?" I was like, "You're gonna fix it, right?"
Yeah. Like I can't.
That fear factor has left. You know what I mean? Like I was not a model kid growing up, but I had to make a change or else I'd go down, you know, the path of history. You know, history repeats itself. And I want to do big things, you know what I mean? And big things drove me to this point. You know,
You have to be alive to do big things. So thank God you're alive, you know, and that you're handling what is in front of you. So you work out, you use your gym, your vault, you call it the vault. I think that's super fun. I think there's like a cool restaurant called the Vault and they made it out of a bank vault.
Yes. I want to go there. Where's that?
Yeah. So there's going to be like one in every state. I feel like that it's just like not unique anymore, but you think I've never been. But anyways, back on track. So you use that to help you with your, you know, your PTS and the things that you've kind of gone through. And I would say maybe, I don't know, you've dealt with so much death and tragedy, you know, death and the cancer in your family and your father dying, like we had talked about, and just all of these challenges. Do you think that kind of, I just thought of this, did that compound your PTS, do you think, or do you think it added to it, or do you think it made it easier, but you still have it, or it's not even related? They're two totally different things that are separate in your mind.
Well, I still hold my dad close to my heart. He wasn't the greatest role model, but he was a role model. I can go to his place and he said, I'm not picking up for nobody. It was just like comfort. You know what I mean? You go there, it was like a different world. You know what I mean? And we would do things like watch wrestling together. You know what I mean? That was our thing. I love wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler, this, that, and other, and stuff like that, you know. and
I said, like those child wannabes, like, you know, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So
right, but you know, I always seen these young kids, movie stars. This, I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. Can I do that? You know what I mean? But the money wasn't there. You know what I mean? The time. You know what I mean? Like I said, I grew up kind of rough, so I had to work at a young age. So that fueled my passion. And right now, fitness for me, you know what I mean, is everything. And
fitness is your, like, it's your healer. That is your medication. That is what got you there, which then brings me to, which is now you have this big kind of, you decided to take on this challenge and you're a little bit of the underdog, like you've always been, right? You don't have these massive sponsorships behind you. You're not going to, you know, a gym with all this fancy equipment. You're not taking all of these, I don't know. There's so many freaking.
I know what you're talking about. You got to have the money.
And the BCAAs and the, like, all, you don't have one of those companies backing you. But what are you doing and why did you decide that you wanted to do this?
Because, you know, I mean, I pushed myself to the limit. I did special operations for TDOC, like I said before, and I was going through level 2 training, and the first day was punch day. So we do nothing but like grapples and try to get out of maneuvers and stuff like that. And for some reason, everybody wants to challenge me because of the way I look. They think I'm way heavier than I am. I'm like 182, 184. And this guy about 205 pounds, young cat, came up to me. He said, I want to go against you. So I said, we ain't holding back no punches because those inmates won't hold back no punches either. So we just went full throttle, punching and sparring and stuff like that. And when he flipped me and he went to mount me, his knee went right into my side. And right then I just lost air and it hurt. So I ended up doing a workman comp thing, and they ended up taking me to urgent care, and they ended up x-raying, and it was too new of an injury to see whether I had broken ribs or not. They were bruised ribs. Right. So I said, can I continue my training? The training's 2 weeks long, and the first day I was busted. So the only thing for broken ribs is to wear ace bandage wrap. So I was sleeping on the top bunk because the guy on the bottom had a CPAP machine that had to be plugged in. So you can just imagine anybody's had broken ribs or bruised ribs or what did I say? Bruised ribs, I guess.
Yeah.
So anybody with that, even breathing sucks. And I ran because I didn't want to miss the opportunity to get through this training because I waited so long to do it. You know, I always looked up, I always see challenges and go towards them. So I went through the 2 weeks of aid and litter, picking people up, putting them in vehicles and stuff like that. And I'm in pain. You could tell I am in pain. So I ended up graduating. That's how much of a warrior I am. I ended up graduating. And of course, I'm still on workman's comp. So I had to check out the urgent care. Well, I went to the urgent care and the lady's like, hey, 1 out of 10. What's your pain level? I said, about a 12. So she did an x-ray, and sure enough, get this, my 4th and 5th rib were broken. And I got through that whole training, 2 weeks long of picking people up, PT. I even did a gas chamber with a gas mask on with broken ribs. Are you kidding me? What normal person does that?
They don't. Sorry, but they don't do that. Normal people don't do that. Super normal people do that. But that is that's your drive. So you decide that you are going to be, well, I don't want to get it wrong. You're going to take on this challenge of being on the cover of, is it Men's Fitness, Men's Health? What is it?
Men's Health Fitness, Mr. Men's Health Fitness, a 2-page spread and a $20,000 prize.
Yeah. Was this something like I'm making up a movie in my head about you? Like what you're looking at this magazine and you see this contest ad and you're like, that looks like the impossible. I think I should do it. Was that what it was like?
Well, people always comment on my arms. I don't see it because I see it all the time. Oh, you got big arms. You look good. So what better opportunity? I was scrolling through Facebook, and guess what? There was a Men's Health Fitness on there for a $20,000 thing. And I was like, this got to be a scam. So I go in there, and they had me fill out my bio and stuff like that. Say, you're entered. I was like, that's it? You ain't got to pay nothing? It's free. So at that point, I was like, whoa, this just happened. You know what I mean? And the first round was 47 participants. And I was first for 2 days in a row.
That's cool.
I'm sitting here right now. This is like week 3. So the first one was eliminating all the people, you know what I mean, out of 47 people, trying to get down to 15. I made it to the 15, still holding second for 3 weeks. I monitor it all the time. You can ask my boss. Yeah. But, you know, I just started a new job and stuff like that. But I'm like, my passion is this, but I've got to work. So I got to have a paycheck. You know what I mean? So my drive, you know what I mean? I get up early in the morning so I don't sacrifice time away from my wife and daughter. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, I'm a commercial plumber. So I don't know what time I'm getting off at work, but I know what time I can wake up and get a successful workout in before everybody wakes up. You know what I mean? I sacrifice sleep so that I can spend time with my daughter and my wife, because when I work corrections, I couldn't post stuff like this. I couldn't go on Facebook, you know what I mean? Because there's inmates with better technology than I have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the times I get called in the middle of the night to go, it was exhilarating, but it took a lot away from, I felt like I knew the inmates more than I knew my family. And we'll just put it that way. So, now I get up at 3:30 because this competition has driven me.
That's crazy.
No means. My wife's, every time we go out, she's like, he's out there talking, ask people if they got Facebook, if they vote for him on Men's Health. I've got to go outside. My social media platform, my Facebook, my Instagram, I got to go to people that are not aware and make them aware that I'm trying to be Mr. Middle Tennessee. I'm sure that title is already taken, but Mr. Modesto, Mr. California, whatever. I've got friends, I got family, I've got combat vets. They're all in the clutch. They're waiting for the moment to drop some numbers. But what I'm trying to do now is push the message abroad. I'm going to wake and shake some people. That's
you are here. You are here. You are doing this. You are showing. I love that you're showing. You don't need fancy pantsy. You don't need hype. All you need is passion and drive, and you can do it. Not just even the fancy pantsy of the physical stuff, but you don't have to have a perfect mind, and you don't have to have a perfect body. You can make a perfect mind, and you can make a perfect body with that passion and that drive. And that's what you're doing. It's such an inspiration because, good golly, there's so many, especially now when people have been like stuck inside and so fear-based and fear that they're going to die. And I'm always like, well, guess what? There's one guarantee in life: you will die. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. So don't live that way, or don't use the excuse.
Don't live scared.
Right. Don't let the excuse of fear that you have this health challenge or this mental health challenge or this financial challenge. You find a way if you want to do it. And that is why I wanted to share your story, because that is what you're doing. And that is what I find inspiring. And it just, even from a child all the way up to this new adventure. So if people want to support you, do they just click the link that's in this description here? And do they vote for you? Do they need to follow you on Instagram? What do they need to do?
All the above. I'll take all the above. But what happens is you get one vote every 24 hours. So say you do it at 6 p.m. tonight or something like that. You can't do it till 6 p.m. the next night. But what's going to drive this competition, what's going to get me ahead, because these people, I'm not asking for money. This is what I do in return. So they got warrior votes, and contribution goes to Homes for Vets. So this competition is more or less helping out the vets like myself. I don't need the help. I'm going to be your spokesperson. I'm going to be the disabled vet that's going to be on the top. In some way I can feel it, but what's going to get me is the warrior votes. Because what happens is when they contribute $10, we'll just say $10 to Homes for Vets, that $10 is marked in votes towards the person that you put the money towards. So $10, 10 votes. And they're doing these double things.
So it's like $10 to Joshua Douglas Hoover.
The $10 don't.
Not to you, but you have to put your name on it, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
The $10 is essentially 10 votes towards myself.
Right. Yeah.
So what's going to drive this forward is people that got big bankrolls and stuff like that are investing in themselves. What I'm trying to do is have people invest in me. I will be your spokesperson. And what happens is, since I can't pay every single person directly because I don't got that kind of money, I'm on a budget, but my drive is there. So what happens is, when you guys contribute money, you can name whatever exercise and I will tag you and I will do that exercise on the spot for you.
Oh, cool. I'm going to think of something really tricky. Maybe what about a yoga something? I am not a yogi person, but I just think it'd be funny to watch you do it.
Well, you can have me do whatever. You can have me do silly stuff. I don't care. So I'm a participation,
Yeah.
like
Well,
my history.
you have my support. I'm going to go on there. I'm going to click. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do my warrior votes for you because I love it. You are an inspiration and you are leading the way for all of those people that can't do it. And it'll be so fun. It's so funny. Is that show my age? I'm like, did you read a magazine? And you're like, I was scrolling Facebook. I'm like, damn, I'm old. I'm like, do they even have magazines anymore?
Yeah. So I wish I read more.
Oh, well,
I like pictures.
There. Put your money where your mouth is, right? Don't just don't just comment and great job, Josh. Like, do something about it. Click on the link, do your action, follow him, make him do something. Let's just see like how many like funny things we can make him do and get yourself tagged on because now you're calling my name because I need to laugh. I want to smile. I mean, we need more laughter in the world. And Joshua, you can be our inspiration and our laugh machine. I feel like this could catch on. But thanks for taking your time. Thanks for doing what you do, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, because not going to happen here on this lady's time watch. I'm not that driven and passionate about something to do that, but you're doing awesome things. Thank you for your service to our country then and now. I mean, keep it rolling. And to everybody else out there, remember, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.